Welcome everybody, we're back inside the Dome Experience for our signing day special brought to you by Toyota. A chance to catch up with head coach Dino Babers, another recruiting class in the books. Partially, right, because that's really the story here, Coach. This is an especially small recruiting class, which is in keeping with a nationwide trend in an unprecedented recruiting environment. Let's give you the first word on how you and your staff are feeling and what are the characteristics of this group.
We like the group. It's a group that's spread out. I think it hits all of our needs, and then it's going to be it's the part one of really a part two, part three, part four section when you talk about the transfer portal. The second signing date in February, and then obviously after spring, another transfer portal option.
Let's get into that part in terms of, I guess, the allocation by position. Should we read anything into that it is mostly defensive players, or the larger side of the ball is on the defensive side? Or is it just, hey, you in bulk are trying to get new quality people to your program, and these guys are projected down the road?
I think it's part of both. I think the one thing that people need to realize is even though you split a team in half, you know, there's really three teams. There's offense, there's defense, and there's special teams. And even though offense and defensive players can both play special teams, I'd say 2/3 of the special teams players are defensive players. So if you're going to lean one way on your roster number, you should lean to the defensive side, not the offensive side. What
gets you and your staff excited here when these letters come in? Are we still using the fax machine? I know it's the one time a year the fax machine gets dusted off and used. But when those come in, what are you excited about? I see on the group of 12, you've got 10 multi-sport athletes. You've got all team captains. You've got, I think, 4 state champions in football. You've got sons of and relatives of NFL players, and there's a lot of common traits here that seem to look like you're getting what you want.
The hardest thing to do is to be able to carve somebody open with them still being with you and find out what kind of heart they have. And that heart and the desire and the love for football, it separates so many guys once they get here. Very seldom does a school recruit a bad guy. Okay, but based off of their experiences off the football field and on the football field, they morph into something. And we want them to morph into fantastic football players who love their education. So you think you have a good product, you bring them here, and you get excited about it, but sometimes they go down different roads. I really look at this group and I get excited. I think that we've got some guys that are really good.
What's it say to you, though, when you get Deuce Chestnut's buddy, right? That's Dennis Saquez. You get, the state player of the year in New Jersey and LaQuince Allen. Like, so the word that's getting back to those high schools, those communities about the Syracuse experience has to be good.
Yeah, I think they like what they hear, and I think the guys in the program that are still in the program, are really excited. 17 out of our 22 starters come back. 4 exhausted eligibility. There's 21 out of 22, and we lost one starter, to the transfer portal. The guys that are playing, they're excited, are here, and I think they're here for good, and they like the experience that's going on.
So this, as you pointed out, is only part of it, and you have many, many scholarships still available to give. So what is the intent going forward, whether it's high school players, junior college players, four-year college portal players?
We have our Christmas wish list, may I say, but you have to be flexible in these situations. You have to play it by ear. As each section, each recruiting period comes and goes, you have to dabble a little bit and see if you can pick off a little bit off the edges so that when it's all said and done, you got everything you need for the 2022 season.
What's getting it done in terms of landing people, especially in this climate now? Name, image, and likeness is here. It's obviously making an impact in the recruiting world. When a guy says yes for Syracuse or you find a fit, what are the factors that play there?
I think the first thing is the education. I'm going to always say the Syracuse education is special. I will, and I won't change that story at all. I think that coaches matter as well. I think sometimes guys lock on to certain coaches, whether it's position coaches or head coaches or coordinators, and they find that that's what they're looking for as well, or the identity of an offense or the identity of a defense.
So let's wrap on that idea of coaches, because that's obviously on your to-do list as well here in the short term, right, is to round out your coaching staff. How does that come into play with recruiting, and what is your outlook here, and how quickly will that get done?
Well, we have a process, and we're not going to rush the process. These guys are going to be with us for a while, and they're going to be leaders, okay? and I want to make sure that we have the right people in charge in those situations. Now, when it comes back to everything else that's going on, I think that those young men understand that, we're going to take our time, and when the right guy comes along, we'll let them know.
All right, Coach, I know you and your staff, and I saw a couple of assistants in the hall. This is a day where you can kind of exhale. Some of the hay is in the barn, but lots of work to do. So take a little bit of a breather today, and we'll see you next time when you get the next crop, okay?
Thank you, Matt.
This is Orange Head Coach Dino Babers. Hope you continue to check out all of our signing day coverage brought to you by Toyota.